It's like the best video ever.
This is crazy.
We got 25 minutes. We gotta go.
Hey, welcome everybody. Happy Wednesday. Super excited to have you all with us. I am very excited today because we have a guest co-host. Winston is taking a break, and so I get the opportunity to have a girl join me. I'm really excited for this. We're going to start to have more co-hosts or guest co-hosts as we continue forward, and I'm super excited to have our first guest co-host. She is like a sister to me. She is definitely a mompreneur, kicking butt, taking numbers, making sure she also takes care of her family, and I couldn't think of a better person to answer today's question. So I am super excited to introduce my hostess with the mostest, Brittany Wright. Yes.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Hi, everybody.
There she is. There she is.
Happy to be here with you, Janelle. I am so excited to be on here with you. You know, when we get together, it's always a good time. And, you know, the chemistry, we were talking about this earlier, but the chemistry is there. So happy Wednesday, everybody. I'm super excited to see you all. And happy Hump Day.
Happy Hump Day. Thank you, everybody, for jumping on. I see all these dope people. Thank you, Jeannie, Winston, Nadia, Diamond, Michael. We see you all. Thank you so much for jumping on. So today, our two brown queens are going to be answering a specific question that I know all of you can't wait to hear. And what is today's question? So Brittany, if you can give me a drum roll, please. Today's question is, can I still run my network marketing business and be a good mother? All right, so we got to put 25 minutes on the clock. Brittany, I will have you take a deep breath. And tell us a little bit about you. So like you're our guest. And so I would love for people to hear your story. As a mom, right? A mom of how many? Tell us that. And why you decided that network marketing was the business model that you wanted to use, and then essentially answer the question in all of
that. Okay. That's a lot to give, but I'm going to do my best to give you all that information. So happy Wednesday, everybody. My name is Brittany Wright Broderick, and I am a mother of two gorgeous young men, ages 9 and 4, and they keep us busy. I was a former athlete in high school and college, and I have to own every bit of that, having them run around, because it's ridiculous. They have the level of energy they have. I can't even at times. And so as someone who's also working, I work full time, and I also have a business that I do on the side. And it's a lot and taking care of my family and just supporting and helping and doing all the things that, you know, I want to do. It's challenging at times, but it's well worth it. And so to answer your question, Janelle, why did I decide to move into network marketing? It's because the person that shared this with me, he was my boyfriend at the time, and he was going places. He was successful. He had, you know, he just had a good head on his shoulders, and he was very much like determined and driven. And he was around people who wanted more. And I was just like, like maybe I need to spend more time with people like that, because I was kind of lost. I'll be completely honest with you. I was in graduate school, working full time as a personal trainer, getting ready to transition to my career in women's health. And so I was all over the place and I wasn't making a lot of money. So it got to the point for me where it took, you know, me having to call my mom to come live with me, to support me financially so I could pay my bills, so she could help take care of my then older son. And, I was like, I got to figure this out. And so it's been a journey. There have been ebbs and flows for sure. There have been times where I have not been as confident in the business. There have been times where I've had success in the business, and there have been times where I have not had success in the business. So it's just been a roller coaster ride for me. But a lot of that has changed for me as of late. And I can even tell you, even up until I would say, May, June of this year, I couldn't get into my groove when it came to this. And so I'm getting back into it. And that's what has gotten me, along with some personal development, along with some realizations and revelations around what makes me happy. Like, what does it mean to be my true self? And I feel like I'm getting Brittany back. And that is something that's big. So the short answer to your question is, can you still be a great mom and do your network marketing business? The answer is yes, but you have to have one support system, and that comes from inside your household. That comes from your partner, but that also comes from a host of other mompreneurs, other mom bosses around here who are doing their thing. And every day isn't rainbows and sunshine. So a piece of advice I got many years ago when I first started was when I was after my 9-to-5, when I was showing my opportunity, my business to other people, I was told, bring your son with you. They need to know what you're doing so that they can understand why we're doing it. And if they can be rewarded after, you've been out, you've been good, you've been behaved, while mommy's having this conversation with somebody, then that's a good thing, right? And so all of those things matter. So I started doing that. I started bringing my older son around. And lo and behold, both of them, my 9-year-old now and my 4-year-old, they both understand our business. They both actually have been able to invite school teachers in and be like, hey, you want some of these products? That's a real thing. And it's all because they understand. They see them around the house. They see us taking them. They are heavily involved. My little one is like, Mommy, are these the product? Are these what you have? Let's take the probiotics, Mom. You need a shake, Dad? Because I'll make it for you. Like, those are real instances. Those are real things that happen in my household. So I would say make them a part of this to the best of your ability. Whatever it is you're doing, make them a part of it. Have them count flyers, have them set up, have them, use whatever it is that you have, because it does make a difference. And when they see you doing it and they see you having success and having fun, and then they're seeing the fruits of that labor, we were able to take our kids to Dominican Republic, to Mexico, because of, train up your child. Yes. We were able to take our kids away, and they were like, wow, this is all because of what you're doing after work. We're all about it. And so that's the short answer to your question. And yes, to answer that question, is this a new idea for me? Absolutely. I was told to go to school, get good grades, get a decent job so that you can spend 20-something years plus. Both of my parents were in traditional industries. My mom was a retired international flight attendant. My dad was an entrepreneur. And it wasn't until most recently I learned that he was an entrepreneur and was exploring network marketing. I didn't know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that I had Amway products in my basement. That was not a thing. I didn't know until more recently. And now, as he watches me do it, he's like, oh yeah, you can use your network for this, and so on and so forth. So this was definitely a new concept for me. And I have to be completely honest, I struggled along the way. I've been in this concept for about 6 years now. And I've watched people have massive success. I've watched my partner have great success, and then not feeling like I could contribute in the ways that I wanted to, didn't know where my strengths were, would see my strengths and then have success and then kind of plateau and then kind of feel like, oh, maybe this doesn't work for me. All of it. I've experienced so much of it. So it is definitely a learning experience. But what I have been able to ascertain from all of this is that I've been reading so many books over the last couple of years that I don't think I would have picked up if it weren't for this concept. So Think and
Well,
Grow
here,
Rich.
I was a couple of things that you said that I just want to really like tease out. Number one, you said it takes a village. You're not doing this on your own. Number two, the train up, right? Like Diamond's right. Like let's train up those kids. Because honestly, you know, you want to give your kids a mindset early on. They're getting taught in school essentially how to be employees, which is a different mindset than when you're an entrepreneur, right? So like we have to teach our kids that. That comes from home. So I love that you talk about how you did that by bringing in the kids into what's going on so they feel a part of it, right? Like they want to feel a part of what, you know, what their parents are doing. That's like a really, really big deal. And so I love that as like a nugget for people to take from this. And, you know, I think the other thing that you said that really, I think people might have missed is that, you know, in traditional businesses, you're kind of, or when you're a traditional entrepreneur, you're kind of like out there on your own, doing your own thing. You don't necessarily have a tribe to like help you out or support you in the come up, right? Like as you're progressing and as you're growing. And one of the things that you mentioned is that like you got a lot of training, you got a lot of personal development along the way. And it sounded like you were even about to get into that. And that is a key part, and even how you ended up working on yourself to then be able to be there for your family. So could you like just expand a little bit about, expound a little bit about that? Just talking about like, what did you receive, right? Like that really helped you along the way in terms of training, personal development, all those things that like network marketing is able to give people.
For sure. So the really great thing about network marketing in general is you have events, and they're national events that you can go to, and they just pour into you. They share with you their successes, their challenges. I like to call them roses and thorns. You know what I'm saying? Like they get to share those pieces with you. And it's like, wow, me too. You know what I'm saying? We're in that Me Too movement. And I feel a lot of that all the time. And so being around people who do think differently, and it is uncomfortable at first. It still is uncomfortable at times. Like, oh, like you might think that you're getting to that point, like, oh, okay, I'm thinking outside the box, and then you'll hear something else, and it's like, oh, maybe I wasn't thinking outside the box. So when it comes to like some of the books and things that I've been introduced to, Think and Grow Rich, you know, the 21 Irrefutable Laws, like Start With Why by Simon Sinek, which I absolutely love. Leaders Eat Last. If I had to call a book out at this moment, that's probably one of my favorites, because it really dives into what it means to lead people and lead with love, but lead at the speed of trust. And that's a big thing, both in this industry and in general. If people are not feeling like they can really rely on you, they will not perform, and you won't perform, because you know that's true, right? If you don't feel like if you don't feel like the person in front of you is going to be there for you or lead you, you're hesitant, and that's a real thing for people. So recognizing what that is for folks, and then being able to act upon it, and then communicating. I'm still learning how to communicate. And I'll say that again. I'm still learning how to communicate and communicate effectively. For those of you who don't know me as well, I have a lot of thoughts in my head. And in some instances, I believe that you are in my head with me, and you can hear all my thoughts as fast as I'm having them. And so I don't have to say them. And that's not true. I've been told that so many times. You have no idea.
Guilty.
It's
Guilty
like
charged.
It's like my partner's having to do, you know, mental acrobatics just to understand what I'm saying. So I have to slow down. I have to think about what I want to say. And the other thing that came up for me is that as a woman, we tend to give lots of details. I will tell you a whole bunch of details about something very simple. And we call those berries, because we have to make sure everyone knows what is what. And I have a tendency to do that. That doesn't bode well for someone who's got a ton of things on their plate and has to move quickly. So these are all, again, things that I've learned just from being in the community, in this ecosystem of other network marketers and entrepreneurs. Like, it's golden, and it makes me, even in my 9-to-5 job, and I love what I do. I work in women's health for New York City, and I take my skills that I've learned from network marketing into my job, and they're like blown away. They're like, wow, what, can you tell us more about this? Can you tell us more about this idea? And it's not me. I can't take the credit for it. It's what I've been exposed to on my weekends. It's who I'm around in my evenings at times. And it doesn't always, it's unbalanced, and it doesn't always look pretty. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't. It looks it can look sad at times. You can be down at times. And that is a reality of this. You cannot be hitting some goals that you have and kind of thinking to yourself, is this worth it? Should I keep going? And then trying to manage and balance everything. It's difficult. There are times where, ladies, I'm sure a lot of you know who are on here, we don't always feel sexy. You don't always feel like you're looking great. And so that's a real thing, That's a real thing. And kind of thinking about what you look like in that space and how you show up, in addition to how you show up as a mom. Because truth be told, anything that happens with your child from the very beginning, as soon as the baby is out, did I do something wrong? Did I not do something? Did I forget this? Oh my gosh, because you're constantly thinking. And really quickly, this brings me to the point, women who are having to go into the workplace, the studies tell us that when women are at home and working, they are less stressed, because even if they had to get to their child in the middle of the day, they would be able to get to them, as opposed to being at work, having to call nanny or grandma or dad or grandpa to go navigate, pick up kid at different time and doing all this other stuff. So why not now be able to work from home on a more consistent basis?
Right. And have your business. So let's talk about that. So right now, we know people are open to the idea of not having to go to the office, right? Like, you can be home for your kids. You can go pick them up, right? Like, what a concept. I know you and I remember one time, I think it was I want to say 3 years ago or something. And this is totally pre-pandemic. And I had a day where I didn't have to go into the office. And so I was running my network marketing business like crazy that day. I was running all over the city, talking to people about our services, our products, the business, if they were interested in it. And then at one point, I remember walking past a school in Harlem, and it was 2:30 in the afternoon. And I'm looking at these kids and they're leaving. And I'm like,
we were on the phone.
And I remember I contacted you because I was like, Brittany's a mom. She can answer this for me because I don't have any kids right now. And I'm like, Brittany, what's going on? How does this make sense that people are told to go to work from 9 until 5? If everybody is at work until 5, who is picking up these children at 2:30 in the afternoon, 3 o'clock in the afternoon? How does that work? I don't understand.
Let me answer that for you.
Right.
The nanny is picking them up. Grandmama or grandpa or dad or a partner who worked from home. And that's when I was introduced to this, I saw parents who were, more mature. I'm not going to call them old, but they were more mature than me. And I was like, wow, that's because they probably had this working from home thing down pat. And I was late to the party. And I was like, oh, okay. So you are then relying on after school, and let's talk about after school. That costs money, right?
Yep.
So you're working to pay for those things. So you sometimes see people, I'm just not going to work at all because my salary is going straight to childcare. And that's, we can have a whole show about that.
A whole other thing. Well, okay. So not to go down that road, but here's this idea, right? This idea, people are coming, I think because of COVID and everything that's been going on, people are having the realization, actually, I do like working from home. I do like being around my kids. I am happier. I don't want to go back. And so what else can I do? And so a lot of people are looking at different ways to make an income and doing that. And network marketing is it's so much more of a humanized way to make a living, right? I mean, to make an income, I should say, right? If you can do everything from working from home, if you can incorporate your children into your business, I mean, listen to that. If you can incorporate your children into the learning that you're getting, the personal development that you're getting. So that way they grow up thinking that they can do anything. Everything's possible with just like, you know, like some support and some, you know, coming together with people. Like if that's the kind of mindset that they have, like imagine, right? Like what their world could be like, which is completely different when you're like, and not for nothing. I mean, like jobs are great. Like you give your time, you get paid and all, like we understand that. But there's just a more humanistic way to go about making money. And I really just feel like network marketing capitalize on that more humanistic way of doing things, where you can like be a human and live your life and still create an income in order to pay your bills and then some, because there's a lot of people that actually get paid way more than what any job would pay them just based on their effort. So like to me, I get jazzed and I get really excited. Sorry, I just saw a comment from Rachel. I agree, Rachel. I don't have any. I'm the same way. Like, it's just better, right? Like, it's just better. It's a more humanistic way to live life. And so, anyway, but without going down that rabbit hole too far, what I do want to go back to is something that, like, you started talking about as well, which is thinking about your kids, right? So now here you are working your business, and you have hours towards your business, and then maybe hours towards your kids. But I'm sure in the beginning, it seemed kind of like, everything's happening at the same time and I'm not really sure like what to do, right? So was there ever a time where you didn't feel like a good mom? Was there ever a time where you felt guilty? Was there ever a time when you were like I don't know if what I'm doing? And then like what was the thing that you figured out? What was the switch?
Yes. There was a time where I didn't feel like a good mom. And that's something that I know I've struggled with personally, just in general, because I'm just always trying. By nature, I'm a people pleaser, so I'm actually learning how to get better at that in general. And so what I learned from stage at an event that I went to for my network marketing company was that children, when they first see you, they need 10 minutes of your time. 10 minutes of undivided attention. And this was actually shared with us at a ladies' event. At a ladies' event, they need 10 minutes of your time. And once they have that 10 minutes of undivided attention when you first see them, they're not interested in you anymore. I'm going to keep it all the way 100. They're not.
Wow.
iPad game, you know, talking to someone else, they're just not. So 10 minutes of undivided when you first see them, they want to tell you everything that you did, that they did throughout the day. And then after that 10 minutes is up, they are, okay, see ya. And they want to do something. That just speaks to the fact that, hey, you spend your time at work, you give them their 10 minutes, you do what you need to do. If you're cooking dinner, if your partner cooks dinner, like whoever does that, make time for yourself. One of the things I also learned, how important sleep, water, and moving my body. All those things, how important those things are. Because again, if those things are not taken care of, you cannot serve anybody, period. So the 10 minutes and then putting that time into your business. It doesn't have to be hours every single night. I think that's the misconception that people have. Oh, I need to go all in because I have this big goal. Yeah, you have this big goal, but life is also happening. And those are other elements of your life that are very important. So you don't want to neglect them. And I've found myself in those spaces before. So yeah, you can spend an hour a night over the course of 5 nights in a week. You can spend 2 hours on Saturday and Sunday. Like, however, you have to make it work for you. And that's the beautiful thing about network marketing is you can do it because of the leverage of other people being around you to support you who do have the time freedom that you are seeking or striving for, that you can use that. You know what I mean? So that makes a difference. You can put that time towards it. And I've seen the rewards. Like, I know for myself, there have been times where I've gone to event to show people what's been going on, show people my products and things that I like, and being a product of the product, and I'm dog tired. But when I finish, I know I have felt fulfilled, right? And that's absolutely right, Winston. It's a marathon, not a race. Like, so, and you are watching TV. Like, I fall victim to that too. And kind of rewarding yourself. Like, all right, what did I do for my business that made me success? What income producing thing that I do? And you kind of set those standards for yourself, and then you can reward yourself. Janelle, I know you've done this too. So So yeah, there's just that. I've definitely felt that, and you'll continue to feel that. There's going to be events that come up for your children that you're going to want to go to. And at the end of the day, just thinking about, okay, what is my end goal? What is it that I really do want to have? And that is a struggle at times, you know, missing events and not being there all the time. My oldest son plays in a flag football league in Connecticut every weekend. His father signed him up for that, but that's not something I can commit to every weekend. So I go when I can go. And that's, you know, that's that. Because I know there are things that I want to be doing that are going to support me being home longer throughout the day. And to be completely honest, guys, for those of you who do have children who are actually physically in school, they're in school during the day. So even if you're not spending time with them. So that's time you could be spending for yourself. If you once you've gotten that time freedom, you can be spending time on yourself and thinking about the things that you like to do. I was told that like I need my own room, like a room just for Brittany. And I didn't even think about that. I didn't even know, that that was something I would need until he told me. So I was like, oh yeah, a room for Brittany would be nice. Okay. So again, just all these things.
That's so good. There are so many comments about people who are like, man, this is so good to know. Even for people who don't even have children yet, they're like, this is so important, right? This is so good to know. Here's a question from Rachel. What does delegation look like as a mom and a boss?
That's a great question. And I'm still navigating that because you have this tendency to, I know I do, you want to do everything. And I'm stopped at times. Like my husband stops me and says, I'll do it. And I'm like, you're right. Oh no. So it just really quickly means delegating to other people. If you have a village, use them. Hey, can you cook dinner tonight? Hey, can you season this? Hey, can you put the kids to bed? Hey, can you, it really, you have to open your mouth. You got to put your mouthpiece in and use it. And that's something that, again, I'm a student of. I'm still learning it, and I'm still getting better at it.
Well, that brings up a really great point. So, as the timer ran out, sorry, I'm just collecting something to post to the group. The timer ran out, so that means we are no longer going to be answering the question. But I do have some more questions for Brittany that I'm going to now ask in overtime about what. I'm so glad you asked that question, Rachel, in terms of the delegation, because that was my next question. Like, what does it look like with the communication with the people in your family and your household? What does all of that look like? So if you want to join us for the conversation in overtime, I am putting the link in the chat. We will be recording that afterwards. So give us like an hour, and then you can get all the tidbits from what Brittany has to say about more on how communication is important, right? When building up this family of little ones who are going to become great people, right, in this world. And Brittany, thank you so much for being our guest co-host. It has been such a pleasure having you on. You have delivered so much value, so many nuggets for so many people with children, without children. Like, I know that a ton of people have learned a lot today, including myself. I can't wait to have you again as a guest co-host, so we can do 2 brown queens once again. Again, join us on Patreon. If you liked what you saw today, please share this video with your friends, with your family, with your other mompreneurs, with your other boss queens. Please share this because there's so much valuable information. Click the like button, hit subscribe so you don't miss our next episode. We can't wait to be with you guys next Wednesday so we can be answering your questions about what it's like to be building your business in the middle, right? Before the success pops off. Thank you everyone for spending your time. We'll see you on overtime. And so Brittany, we say this together. So I know you're our new co-host, our guest co-host. We say this together. As always,
remember you deserve
the good life.
Say that.